Hello, everybody. This is Swati live from Los Angeles, our weekly live mindfulness meditation session. And as many of you know, we have been working on our quest, whatever it is that you would like to go towards. And my job is to let you use mindfulness meditations and the philosophy behind it to go more towards your quest, to teach you how you can do it. Now, in this process, last time what we did was we did a meditation where we did a feeling awareness meditation to become aware of what feelings we had about wherever we want to go. Some of you had mixed feelings. Some of you had questions about, is it okay to have both kinds of feelings, excitement, but at the same time, doubts and fear? This is what it is about feeling awareness meditation. It is a sort of open awareness meditation. What that means is anything will come to your mind. First of all, what it boils down to is pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. You notice, is it pleasant, unpleasant, or a mixture of pleasant and unpleasant? At any given point in time, probably it is one, and then it changes from pleasant to unpleasant, or vice versa, or it becomes neutral. Open awareness, as in what you do is whatever else comes to your mind, you do notice that there will be thoughts, there will be images, there will be something else that may come to your mind, and that will bring feeling feelings to your mind. So you notice all this. Now, one more time, you want it to be a gentle process. You don't want to be stressed out about, am I doing it right? Am I focusing on my feelings in the right way? Am I getting distracted by my thoughts and other things? That's not the point. The point is, whatever you're feeling about your quest, you don't want to analyze it actively. You don't want to do anything actively in the moment. You are just noticing it. And then some thoughts or something may come to you that may make sense to you. You notice it. You hold on to it later on. In the moment, you just keep paying attention to your feelings. That's what it is. So now today we are going to move one step forward. By the way, although I'm doing it once a week, some of you may not move at the same pace as I am moving, and that's perfectly okay. What I'm going to suggest is in between two sessions, whatever meditation we do today, do that at least once in between two weekly sessions. Outside of that, I would suggest body scan meditation. Or if you must do a feeling awareness meditation, do that. But body scan meditation is very important to be in touch with the body. Some of you, again, if you have extra sensitive body, that it becomes extremely painful and anxious to pay attention to the body, then pay attention to the breath. Be aware of the breath. You have learned how to do these meditations so much during the 6-week sessions we did that I don't think you would have any problems going to any one of these meditations. Let me see what comments we have here. Well, looks like some people are having problems connecting. I hope by now most of you are connected. And most of you are able to hear me and see me. Please let me know if you are connected. Um, just for me to know that things are working fine. So today what I would like you guys to do is to be aware of what thoughts you have about wherever you want to go. I have prepared a slide for that purpose. Let me share the slide with you. Okay, I think this is the right one. Yes. Okay. Okay, Ines is now, oh, now I have. So looks like at least one person did connect. Okay, connected now, everything is working fine. Great, that's great. Okay, so now let's go with this. Okay, so the questions to ask. These are the questions you want to ask to yourself today, right now. If your quest is to have better relationships, better friendships, or with close family, this is what you want to ask. What do you want to do about it? You want to forgive? You want to communicate better? You want to change your expectations? One more time, this is not a stressful process, but these are important questions to ask to yourself. So just keep that in mind. You may or may not find the answers, but keep these questions in mind. If you want to move towards some work related or career related goal that you have, decide how much time you want to give to it. 2 years, 5 years before, because the reason I'm saying it is because some of you have a question. Should I continue with my quest or not? Should I continue? I have started my own business. I'm starting this project. Is it going to work? Do I have the capability? Do I have the means? Should I just quit and go back to a regular job or things of that nature? I have worked with a lot of people, so I am very aware of the questions that come up. And that's partly why I have summarized these things. But when it comes to career, first decide. So your question is going to be, how much time do I need to give before I decide, okay, I'm going to quit and go back to a regular job? Or if it is a question about some kind of, a quest about some kind of promotion or some kind of position in your job, next question you want to ask is, if you have doubts and fears or intuition, for example, sometimes you wonder, whatever anxiety I have, is it, whatever doubts I have, is it fear or intuition? Fear is based on irrational things. That's not based on reality typically. It exaggerates, it creates stories. Intuition, on the other hand, is your gut feeling, which is telling you something and you want to pay attention to it. So when you have a doubt, you do wonder about, is it my fear or is it intuition? So that's an important question. The third thing, a lot of you do want to move more towards peace, harmony, happiness. This is what I would like you to ask yourself. What's coming in your way? Maybe nothing is coming in your way, but if it is there any fear or anxiety you're experiencing? And if not, is there any of the six enemies? By six enemies, these are the standard six enemies: desperation, anger, pride, temptation, jealousy, and greed. Think about if any one of these is haunting you or comes in your way of being happy, harmonious, and peaceful. These are the questions to ask. I'm just raising the questions at this point, nothing more. Keep these questions in mind. Okay? So now, before we do our today's meditation, I want to tell you a story. How to interpret this story, that's up to you. And I would like you to write to me about your interpretation of my story. We are going to go ahead with the story even next couple of times. In India, in the olden days, there used to be a lot of monkeys, those little langurs. Even today, there are those kinds of monkeys. Because monkey is one of a revered animal from the Hindu tradition, they were never killed. So what used to be done was okay, and these monkeys would create nuisance. They would come and steal, especially bananas, because they love bananas, but also clothes hanging on the clotheslines and things like that. So what used to be done was there was a special trap. It was a cage, a little cage, and there was a way to put your hand in the cage. And inside the cage, there would be a banana hanging. Now, when a monkey would come, what they would do is they would put their hand inside the cage and grab the banana. And monkeys are supposed to love bananas. They would just struggle to get their hand and banana out at the same time, but that would be impossible. The way the cage was designed, you could not get your hand and banana out at the same time. So the monkey would keep struggling, desperately trying to get the banana out. And guess what? Meanwhile, somebody would notice this and they would come and catch the monkey. The monkey would be imprisoned. Now, this is the story. Now, I really want to know, what do you take from this story? And how is this related to what we are trying to do here? It may or may not be confusing, but it would be really something I would like you to think about and then write to me. As you think about it, you may think about more layers than what just appears on the surface. So without saying that much about this story, now let's get to our meditation. So today we are going to do a thought awareness meditation. I asked you to ask yourself a few questions. Now, before we start meditating, just think about if there is anything, one of the questions that I raised, that's coming to your mind. One more time, as we go more towards the quest, this doesn't have to be a stressful process, but that also doesn't mean it will be happy each and every moment. But just realize this will pass too, and just do whatever you are doing in as gentle a fashion as possible. So raising questions gently, without fear, because it is just a question. So get your eyes closed, and I'm getting my gong, and I'm going to take a couple of sips of my tea. One of the sips will be mindful. By the way, those of you who want, please come to the session with a cup of tea or water or whatever it is. And you can continue having your cup of tea as we go on, and maybe even mindfully. Okay. So close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Relax your shoulders. And now pay attention to your breath for a little bit. And now start at the question that you were raising in your mind about your quest. If there is any question you have in your mind, ask yourself that question. In your mind, say it to yourself. What is the question? What is the question in your mind? Just say it to yourself. And now allow thoughts or feelings to come to you about your question. Just notice. It's an open awareness process that begins with this question. And the thoughts and the feelings and the images that come to you, just notice. Some of you may experience a body sensation and your attention may suddenly go there, but that's okay. An open awareness of primarily thoughts, along with it, whatever comes, you notice. And then go back to the thought that's currently there in your awareness. Awareness of all the minute things that are going on with you at the moment. Starting with the question, the thoughts that are coming to your mind, and other things. Notice, recognize, notice, accept, investigate. And for some of you, you may not have any question. And if you don't, just start at, okay, this is where I would like to move. And see what thoughts and feelings come to your mind with that starting point. If your mind is wandering around, just notice it was wandering around and gently bring it back to the thought that you left or the feeling that you were feeling. Just notice it. Mind wanders around, you make your mind back to the awareness. Gently, oh, okay, mindful moment. Bring your attention back to being aware. Bring your attention back to awareness of your thoughts. At the moment, what's going on in your mind. In this process, you are learning to be aware of all the different ways in which your thought process works. And at this point, I'm going to ask you to come back to your breath, breathe in and breathe out, and pay attention to your breath for a little bit. And say this line 3 times in your mind. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. Breathe in, I smile. Breathe out, I'm okay. And you can open your eyes slowly at first and then on the way. And just stay there. Thank you, Ron. Ron says audio is not very clear. I am not sure if that's true of everybody. This is an old one. She says I'm not. Some people, I think these are some old comments because the same people are now connected. Hans is live today and no connection with, no problem with the connection. That's wonderful. So we are going to hang out for maybe 10 more minutes if possible, which will give you time to ask questions right here. But this is what I suggest. When we stop, and if you have just a few more minutes, just write me an email or at least make a note of it to yourself of what thoughts came to your mind. Like, did you find any answer? Again, we are not going to find answers each and every time you meditate. I'm not expecting it, but you may or you may not. But if you did have a question in your mind, and if you did start with that question, make a note of what came to your mind while you were meditating. The reason I'm asking you to email it to me, I'm going to create a separate folder, so to speak, for each one of you and store your quest and your reactions to this process in your own folder. This is confidential. I do have an assistant who has access to my email to meditatetogether@gmail.com, but she does not look at client emails. And I don't think any one of you has written material where confidentiality will not be compromised. However, just remember it's an email. So whatever confidentiality does get broken based on you are putting it out there, keep that in mind. So the confidentiality will not be broken from my side. But one more time, again, keep that part in mind. So if you write to me, everything will be recorded. And then at the end, if you want, I can tell you your own process. We can analyze your own process. For most of you, this is going to be a lifelong process. As in happiness, peace, harmony, moving towards it, it's a lifelong process. Career goals, yes, you will reach one, but then you would have the next one. Friendships, family, yes, that is going to be lifelong. But I'm hoping to teach you how to deal with these things on your own. You are going to be your own therapist, so to speak. And that's what we are going to try to achieve. So write me an email. The other thing I'm going to suggest to you is which I've done already. But whatever we did, the thought awareness meditation, do it at least once and give yourself enough time if you can. Just sit and be mindful of what thoughts are coming to you. Notice and see if you find answer. It may be a small momentary answer, but just see if something comes to you. You can do more than once this thought awareness meditation. The times when you are not doing this thought awareness meditation, do a body scan or breath awareness. One more time, whatever time you decide, stick to that. Ina wants to know, my thoughts were all irrelevant to the question. Is this a common experience? I'm glad you said that. That's quite possible. Again, as I said, every time you're not going to get an answer, every time it's not going to be a focused process. But if they were irrelevant to the question itself, or question or answer, let me check. To the question, yeah, if they were irrelevant to the question, pay attention to what they were. What thoughts? Were they just random thoughts? Or was there anything? I mean, it's not that at the moment you're analyzing, but at this point when you look back, what do you find anything? But otherwise it's okay, perfectly normal. Just notice. In the process of noticing, you are becoming aware of yourself. You're becoming aware of how your own mind, how your own thought processes work. Some of you may have an experience of you have a very wandering around mind. Some of you may make lists of things you want to do today for the rest of the day. Or it may be something that was bothering you so much about something unrelated to the question, something from before. All these are perfectly normal things. Right now we are getting used to this process. So there will be time when you will be able to do this particular meditation with a lot more awareness, and some insight may fall into your life. This is the reason why we are following this process. For getting insight, but without desperation, without really trying to analyze everything. That's the other thing that is very common. Unwittingly, I try to analyze my thought. Is this okay? Should I deviate to another thought? You know, Hans, when you notice you're analyzing your thought, just notice, yeah, I'm analyzing, and notice the analysis. And then come back to, okay, whatever the thought or the feeling, just notice the thought itself. If you find yourself analyzing, that is very common, because especially the people who have a habit of analyzing everything. In fact, if there is any problem, you do want to analyze it, but that's not the purpose of the meditation. I would suggest analyze it outside of the meditation. If there is any pros or cons, I'm not talking about this question, I'm talking about in general. If there is a question, you want to find an answer. First, understand the problem, understand the pros and cons, or whatever different aspects you need to understand. When you meditate, just notice whatever thoughts or feelings are coming to you, and your mind wanders around. That is not the time to analyze it. Notice that it's analyzed, and then go back to the thought itself. Okay, LK says, I had so many questions, it was hard to decide which to take. How do I proceed? I finally took one. That's good, LK. That's exactly what you would do. You take one and had some new ideas and perspectives about this question, giving the quest a certain direction. So thanks. And so that's great. So you probably did get a little bit more direction, and that's wonderful. And if you want, you can write to me with specifics, and I'll make a note of it under your folder, so it will all be together for you. So this is what it is. Take one question and see what comes to your mind. It may or may not be easy, but if it is not easy, that's great. Notice it's not easy. Notice this is what's happening today. Notice I'm really analyzing this problem. Okay, in this analysis, this is what comes to my mind. Okay, let me go back to the thought or the question. What feelings do I have? You're just noticing what's going on at the moment. What thoughts, feelings? Simply notice and accept and wait to see what happens next. So, this is going to be a wonderful process. It will be sometimes pleasant, sometimes unpleasant, sometimes neutral. But believe me, one thing I can promise, you're going to move forward. And with that, I'm going to say bye to you for right now. Email me and we'll take it forward next.